Hello all. Hello all. Good evening. Hey all. So see, IDT MCQs you can expect on coming Wednesday or Thursday. So okay, any of these 2 days I'll be uploading IDT MCQs. Okay, right? Good evening, Divya. Yes, Santakumar. Like Superthon is enough for place of supply. You can rely on it. Then DT appeals chapter. See, DT, it's already the time is like very less. I cannot promise you that appeals chapter and all. I will note it. If at all I could do, I can provide you, because it's not that only DT is there, right? I have to even take care of IDT also. So if at all I can do, I'll do it. Then someone is asking about, good evening sir, I have a doubt in ITC provision regarding the same line of business. ITC is restricted to IT. I have a doubt in ITC provision regarding the same line of businesses. ITC is restricted to. Divya, that might be some kind of mistake in the workbook, I think. Okay, there is no such kind of provision like restricting 5%. Revision series I already uploaded, right, for the chapters. The chapters, like whichever I said, like if you see already for DT related intro I have uploaded, revision series, PGBP I have uploaded, then chapter 6A I provided, then Monday evening or by Tuesday morning you will be getting NR tax, DTAA and transfer pricing from DT over the YouTube, this part. Okay, by Monday, maximum by Monday you will get this part. Then I'm even having a plan to provide you with what assessment of trust, one chapter I'm planning to provide. Once these 3 chapters I provide, I'll go with MCQs. Once MCQs are done, then I'll provide you assessment of trust also. It's okay. So thereafter we can think of the other chapters because the time is very less, right? Then Super 50 high. Super 50 is really tough in DT or IDT. In IDT also, to an extent, I have prepared Super 50, and that Super 50 itself is recorded as Superthon. Okay, understand the point here. See, IDT, the problem, or the DT, IDT, the problem is like we'll have multiple concepts in a chapter. So when they ask a question, they are not asking on a single topic. See, many are asking, I'm clarifying this first about DT. DT, the point of why can't we give Super 50 is like they are not asking on single topic. See, let's say if you think of question number 2, PGVP. See, how many provisions are there? There are no questions like which could cover everything. Okay. So we need to frame. So the exam relevant questions are like in some attempt they are focusing 3 or 4 points, in some attempts they are focusing on other points. So question number 2, that one. And question number 3A, 3B in DT, what is happening? They are asking about tax planning and all. Again the point is like what? You should have the core understanding of all the basics. Okay, then only here we can do. So then some kind of, at least if you can do now, like 4A, they are asking about advanced tax. So in advanced tax, only 3 or 4 model questions are there. Even if I don't release Super 50 also, you could see in the revision series also, there are only 3 or 4 model questions. 234A, B, C, that you can do anyhow. Then question number 4B, appeals. Again, appeals also, if you take it like 2-3 hours, then that chapter also get finished. See, if you study Super 50 in DT, there is no a similar model will repeat in the same chapter. Okay, so it's not me. Any faculty, why they will get they feel like can't give in Super 50 for DT is like it's not on one particular concept. In a question, 20-30 points will come. Okay, and they will be they'll be changing them frequently. So it's not like only these points will come in the exam. So from a chapter, they may ask any point, right? And the questions could be framed like anyway. Like examples can be created. So that's why there is always a high risk in relying on Super 50 dear. So understand, okay, it's not like we have a problem to share with you the Super 50. It's risky for you only to solve Super 50 or important questions. The only place we can selectively or rely on concepts is like NR taxation, okay, DTA also is a theory part only, and again questions will have basics, any basic. If you solve DTA questions also, they link with house property basics, they link with salaries basics, they link with PGBP basics. So you should know all those points. You cannot predict Super 50 there. So NR, DTA, transfer pricing, okay. So these chapters. So wherever it is possible, I am saying that one. But believe me, don't go with that approach also for DT. Don't just rely on Super 50 concepts, even if you find it anywhere also. Okay. Ashmita, amendments is only safe harbor rules from DT. Safe harbor rules. Okay. That part I am gonna cover in the transfer pricing chapter itself. I am gonna upload it on Monday or Tuesday, right? So there itself I will cover the amendment part also, safe harbor rules. Then coming to the IDT, there are only few clarifications that I will release. Okay, maybe along with MCQs video, I will release those IDT related few clarifications are there, like amendments and all. So that I will do it on Wednesday. So you focus on your things within this week. Like this week also will not take till weekend. By Thursday, Friday, 4th, 5th, whatever I can provide, I will be uploading for you regarding the DT and IDT. Okay, even after 5th or 6th, if I do also, you cannot use them, right? Because you will be changing into the next. Then if tax is charged by the supplier of input service in the same line of business at the rate higher than 5%, If tax is charged by the supplier of input service, I will check and clarify you, Divya. Okay, because I couldn't exactly connect what the point you are saying. I'll check it once and then I'll clarify you. Okay, so now we'll go to the assessment chapter, sir. We'll quickly finish off this chapter, assessment and audit. Okay. See, in assessment chapter, we have self-assessment, provisional assessment, scrutiny, assessment of non-failures of return, assessment of unregistered persons, summary assessment, audit by tax authorities. Right. Sir, this audit part, sir, let me tell you the point. Sir, assessment and appeals chapter we are studying right now. So, where the question from assessment and appeals chapters will come. Sir, usually this question will be there under question number 8A. This question will be there under question number 8A. But this audit part, audit part also there are two sections, like one is a special audit and the other one is like department audit. Audit by tax authorities, there is like department audit and even special audit. So what we need to do, this audit part, sir, this is also important only, but this is gonna ask like at 4A or 4B place along with TDS thesis. Usually TDS thesis will only come. If not, sometimes they can ask about annual return or audit by tax authorities. That's why. So this is like fourth question relevant also. Audit is important. So section 59. 59 is about what? Self-assessment. What does self-assessment, sir? We all know self-assessment means a taxpayer will himself compute the tax liability. I mean, he may take the help of consultant and all, but ultimately it's his responsibility to determine the tax liability for the tax period and to pay that and filing the return. That comes under what? Self-assessment. Every registered person shall himself assess the tax payable by him for a tax period. After such assessment, shall file the return under section 39. He'll be assessing his tax, computing his tax, and then filing the return under section 39. So this comes under what? Self-assessment. Then provisional assessment. Sir, in assessment chapter, one area where they could ask a question is like provisional assessment. So this part from assessment is like literal important. There is a chance of asking a question. Provisional assessment. What is provisional assessment? Provisional assessment, it provides a method for determining the tax liability where the taxpayer is unable to determine value of taxable goods and services or rate of tax applicable. Sir, you are a taxpayer. So what is your problem? You cannot decide the tax rate. You cannot decide the tax rate, or you cannot find out the value of supply. You can't decide the tax rate, or you can't find out the value of supply. Sir, so you might be into a new kind of supply, new kind of business. So then you are not having clarity like which tax rate has to be taken or how the goods and services has to be valued. That clarity you are not having. Then what you will do? You will go to, you will apply. So that process is only, you will be applying to the department, asking them how to take the value of supply or what to take as value of supply, what rate has to be taken. That process itself is called as what? Provisional assessment. So provides a method for determining the tax liability in case the taxable person is unable to determine value of taxable goods and services or rate of tax applicable. Value of goods and services or rate of tax applicable. So taxable person applies in ASMT 01. In ASMT 01, stating reasons and supporting documents. A taxable person, so he need to find out the tax rate and value of supply, right? For that he will be asking in ASMT 01 and we will explain the reasons also. So because of what he cannot decide the tax rate, because of what is his issue, what is his problem, why he can't decide the, sir, this is like IDT only. Okay, so applies in GST ASMT 01 stating reasons and supporting documents. Nice question, Srihari. Yes, it's obviously you can have such question also, because in the beginning we have discussed about both DT and IDT related doubts, right? Sure, okay, but this concept is from IDT only. Provisional assessment. It provides a, okay, so when can we go for provisional assessment? When the taxpayer is unable to determine rate of tax or value of supply. Okay, then he'll apply in ASMT 01 stating reasons and then supporting documents. Applies in ASMT 01 stating reasons and even supporting documents. Okay, then proper officer, what if he convinced with the particular reasons and documents, then obviously, okay, then obviously he'll be going for what he'll give, okay, he'll be giving the provisional assessment order. But whereas if at all he needs like additional information, if he feels like he need additional information, then he'll ask for that additional information in ASMT 02. He'll ask for additional info in ASMT 02. Then taxable person will replace by providing the additional information in ASMT 03. Okay, by taking all this information. Okay, sir, straight away he can go with provisional assessment. If he requires additional info, then only he'll ask for them in ASMT 02. Proper officer passes provisional assessment order in ASMT 04 within 90 days from filing ASMT 01. So within how many days, sir? 90 days from filing ASMT 01. And in his order, he will be stating the value or rate of tax, and along with, sir, the question the taxpayer is having is what tax rate or what value has to be taken. That he will give anyhow. Additionally, he will even mention the value for which a bond has to be executed or a security has to be provided. Bond has to be executed or a security has to be provided in ASMT 04. Sir, the question is, why bond has to be executed? Why there is a need of bond or security? Sir, here whatever the order passed by proper officer is only provisional. In this 90 days time, whatever he is doing is like provisional only. He will take time. He'll again decide, he'll detailedly analyze them, and thereafter he'll again give a final assessment order. Sir, why he has to give provisional? Straight away he can go with the final assessment order, no? Okay, sir, understand. Okay, the problem is what? Sir, let's say a transaction, supply is happened, the supply happened on 16th July 2025, let's say. Now the tax relevant to this has to be paid by when? 20th August 2025, while the filing 3B, the tax has to be paid, right? 3B filing due date. But the problem is what? You are unable to determine value of supply or tax rate. So you applied on August 13th ASMT 01 because you are unable to determine value of supply or tax rate. Applied, okay, ASMT 01. Now let's say for 90 days, some in October 15th they given ASMT 04 specifying the provisional assessment order. Sir, in this they will tell you the tax rate or value of supply, whatever is your question. So at least by then you can pay the taxes. Okay, if they have to wait for final assessment order, they will take 1 year, 2 years time. Till then you have to pay interest, because from 20th August, even though you are unable to determine tax rate, value of supply, nobody will be mercy towards you. They will not show mercy towards you, and they will not control that, they will not relieve you from the interest payable. So interest will be there. So at least if they give provisional assessment order, for that time only you have to pay interest. Understand? That's why provisional assessment order will be given first. Okay, but final is not completed now. So in final, the tax rate may increase, the value may increase. So you need to execute a bond stating like, in final order, if any difference comes also, I am okay with paying that difference amount along with interest, stating that you will be executing a bond. If needed, you will even provide a security also. Not needed, mandatory, you should provide security also for 10% of the value of the bond. Okay. See, final assessment order has to be passed within how many days, sir? 6 months from date of communication of provisional assessment. Okay, then however, it can be extended by AC or DC for another 6 months. AC or DC na assistant commissioner or deputy commissioner for another 6 months. Commissioner can extend it overall for a period of 4 years. Overall for a period of 4 years. Okay. Tax liability under provisional assessment compared to the final assessment. Sir, let me give you an example, sir. I said like what? July 16th, 2025, supply has been happened. The tax has to be paid when? Tax has to be paid by when? August 20, right? 2025 you have to pay tax. But the problem is what? You are unable to determine value of supply. You are unable to determine what? Value of supply. So, what you did, but even though you don't know, on August 20, you paid some tax. August 20, you paid tax like 1,10,000 you paid as tax. August 20. Sir, you don't know value of supply, you don't know tax rate, but simply you paid tax 1,10,000. Simply to avoid interest. Okay, then August 22nd, you applied for provisional assessment in ASMT 01. Okay. Then October 16th, ASMT 04 came, which said like the value of supply equals to 15 lakhs and the tax rate equals to 18%. That means how much you should pay, sir, tax? 15 lakhs into 18% na. 15 lakhs into 18% means how much you should have paid as tax? 2,70,000, right? 2,70,000. And the difference, sir, you already paid 1,10,000 na. The difference paid on October 17th. Okay, how much? 1,10,000 already paid, right? So you paid here another 1,60,000. You paid here another 1,60,000. Okay, fine. That also done. Then again, final assessment order passed, stating like value of supply equals to 15 lakhs only, but tax rate equals to 28%. So what you should do? And the difference is paid. Difference is paid on 5th June 2026. Difference is paid when? 5th June 2026. So like that, this is October 26, 2025. This is 2026. So like this they will give and ask you to calculate interest. So first you need to calculate interest from August 20 you should have paid, sir. But provisional assessment related tax when you paid provisional assessment related 2,70,000 na. So August 20 you paid 1,10,000. And again on October 16th only, right? October 16th you paid another 1,60,000. Then ultimately you should pay how much, sir? 15 lakhs into 28%. That means how much? On 15 lakhs what is the tax, sir? Then 2,80,000 and 10 lakhs, then plus 1,40,000, total 4,20,000 you should pay as tax, right? Okay, 4,20,000 you should pay as tax, but already you paid only 2,70,000. So how much? Another 1,50,000. So that is paid when? 5th June 2026. On 5th June 2026. Another 1,50,000 paid. So now you should calculate interest. So from when to when? With respect to this 1,60,000, you will calculate interest for this period. How many months, sir? August. Okay, number of days we should calculate, sir. How many number of days? August 11 days plus September 30 days plus October 16 days. So on 1,60,000 into how much interest rate, sir? 18%. So 1,60,000 into 18% into 57 by 365. This is the interest. With respect to final assessment, finally the tax payable is how much? 4,20,000. But till now you paid how much? Here 1,10,000, here 1,60,000, and the balance 1,50,000 you should pay now. So for this again you need to calculate interest from when? August 20 you should calculate. Okay, because ultimately the tax should have been paid by 1,10,000. Sir, I don't know, sir, I am unable to determine, sir. Still, that is not an excuse. You should have found out and paid by August 20. Otherwise, you need to pay interest. So, how much? 1,50,000 into, from which day to which day, sir? From August 20, 2025 to till June 5th, 2026, you need to calculate interest. Okay, 1,50,000 into 18% into, let me calculate number of days. August 20, then means August 11 days, September 30 days, October 31 days, November 30 days, December 31 days. This is like 2025. Then 26, January 31, February 28, March 31, April 30, May 31 and June 5 days. So this many days you need to add. How much? 41, 72, 102 plus 31, 133. This 2025. Then here 31 plus 28 like 59, 90, 120, 151, 156. 156 plus 133 total how many days, sir? 189 days you should calculate interest. 189 by 365. So this is the interest you need to calculate in case of provisional assessment. Okay. See, the tax liability under provisional assessment compared to final assessment higher. I mean there is tax deficit. What you should do? You should pay now interest at a rate of 18% from first day after due date. That's what we did, right? From first day after due date, from August 21st only we started counting to the date of actual payment. Yes, till June 5th. Okay, and then once this is paid, then as ASMT 08 applicant will be applying to release the security and all, and ASMT 09 through that proper officer will be releasing that security. Okay, then what if you paid excess? Sir, here itself, whatever the tax we paid provisionally is only more than that of final assessment. In such case, sir, whatever the amount you paid in excess will be given as refund. And on that also you will get interest at a rate of 6%. But very clearly listen, sir, here. Interest at a 6% where refund is not made within 60 days from date of application. Then from which day to which day, sir, interest? 61st day to date of payment, interest will come. From 61st day to date of payment, interest will be there. Okay, this is when the provisional assessment payment is like less than that of the finally assessed amount. This is about provisional assessment. I hope everybody understood, sir. Simple, sir. You are unable to determine tax rate or value of supply, then you will apply for provisional assessment. Then they will decide some tax rate or value of supply provisionally, not final, provisionally. So you will pay that one. For the time being, you will pay that one. Along with what? Interest from the date of succeeding date to the due date of filing return till this provisional payment also you will pay interest. Then afterwards there will be even final determination. Post final determination will compare whether provisionally paid amount is higher or lesser. If provisionally paid amount is only higher, then you only should get refund. So you will get refund also. On refund also they will give you interest at a rate of 6% per annum, but only from 61st day from date of applying refund. Then if you paid deficit, I mean provisionally paid amount is less than that of final amount, then in such case from the next day to the due date till the date of actual payment of this final assessment, the difference amount will be there, right? On that you need to pay interest at a rate of 18% per annum. Interest at a rate of 18% per annum. Right. Then scrutiny of return under section 61. See, where a register, say look at the process, sir. where a registered person files a return and such return is selected for scrutiny by proper officer. Okay, when a return is filed, then it will be selected for scrutiny by proper officer. Then proper officer, what he will do? He will verify its correctness with reference to the info available. With reference to info or information available. Sir, which info will be available with him? Based on e-way bills, based on inspection from other persons, inquiries from other persons, he will get information, or through bank records or through customs records. Okay, he will be getting various sources of information, right? So based on that, he will verify. If he found out any discrepancy during his scrutiny, okay, then what he will do? He will issue notice to the registered person seeking explanation within 30 days from service of notice. Within 30 days from, see, registered person filed return and selected for scrutiny by proper officer. Then verify its correctness with reference to information available. Any discrepancy found, then issue a notice seeking explanation within 30 days from service of notice. Okay, now what we need to check? Whether registered person has accepted discrepancy or not. Now, if registered person accepted discrepancy, then pay tax, interest, penalty, close. If didn't accepted discrepancy, then another ways. Okay, not paid. Then he didn't accepted and didn't furnish the explanation within 30 days. Sir, proper officer verified. He has some differences. Issued notice. So two options are: first thing, he accepted and paid tax. Then what is the issue? Case closed. Then he provided explanation. He didn't accept it, but he provided explanation. With that explanation, assessing officer is a proper officer is convinced. Then furnished explanation and acceptable to PO. Then also no action. When the problem will comes, he accepted discrepancy but not paying tax. Sir, what is about your acceptance is, sir? If that fellow accepted differences, then he has to pay tax now. The tax, interest, penalty is not paying straight. Then he didn't accepted and didn't furnished explanation within 30 days. He didn't accepted and didn't furnished explanation within 30 days, or else he furnished explanation but that is not acceptable to PO. Then what to be done? Then proper officer can take recourse of section 65. Sir, why? Sir, this fellow not cooperating with the assessment, is not giving information, not giving any reply, or he provided that is not satisfactory. Third one, he accepted. Sir, I accept, sir, there is difference, but he is not paying tax, interest, penalty. Then in such case, he can take recourse of, he can go for departmental audit under section 65, or he can initiate special audit under section 66, or he can initiate inspection, search, seizure procedures, or he can even initiate 73, 74, 74A proceedings like demand proceedings. Okay, he can issue a demand notice under 73, 74 or 74A. Okay, simple things, sir. Scrutiny of return, not like income tax, very simple here. Okay, see what is the process here, sir? Registered person filed return. Such return selected for scrutiny by proper officer. Okay, what he will do? Selected scrutiny, he will verify with the information available with him. Okay, verified. He has some differences. Then what to do? He will issue a notice to the registered person asking him to provide a reply within 30 days. Okay, within 30 days. He accepted differences and paid tax, interest, penalty. Case closed, no problem. He didn't accept it but given an explanation and such explanation is satisfactory to the proper officer. Case closed, no problem. When the problem will arise, he accepted but not paying tax, interest, penalty. Second one, he is not provided any explanation nor even accepted. Third one, he has provided explanation but that is not satisfactory. Okay, then in that case what to be done? 4 recourses are available. What are those? Section 65 departmental audit, 66 special audit can be initiated, and then inspection, search, seizure, or even 73, 74A demand recovery proceedings also can be initiated. Right? Then we are moving on to section 62, sir. Assessment of non-filers of return. Section 62. Best judgment assessment notwithstanding 73, 74 where registered person fails to. Okay, sir, see. First of all, sir, 62. is about best judgment assessment. When best judgment? When you are not filing return, then when you are not filing return, you are not providing any information to them based on what they could verify. Then obviously department will go for what? Best judgment assessment. So before going for best judgment assessment, from department side, from the GST side, from the government side, there should be some push to the taxpayers to file the returns promptly. Okay, so what kind of push is that? That we will discuss first here. Guidelines to ensure uniformity related to non-filers of return. First, what they will do to ensure that everybody file return, 3 days before due date, first they will send a message to a registered person. 3 days before due date, they will send a message to a registered person stating like the due date is near, please file your return. Then post due date, they will send a mail and message to the registered number and mail. They will send a mail and message also. Post due date, day you are already sleeping, I sent you 3 days before message, that also you ignored. Now due date also went away, at least now wake up and file the return. Okay, that also he didn't respond. Then after 5 days from due date, a notice under 46 can be issued. After 5 days, sir, anytime. It's not like immediately on 6th day or 5th day from due date they will issue notice. After 5 days from due date, any time they can issue notice under 46 to file return within 15 days. Okay. Then even consequent to this notice also, if return is not filed, then only they will go for best judgment assessment. Simply, let's say July month return has to be filed by August 20th, right? It's not like they will straight away come on August 21st and say like we will do best judgment assessment. They will give you proper time. First they will send you a message within 3 days before that you need to file return. Okay, done. Then post due date, they will send a mail and message to the registered number and mobile. After 5 days from due date, notice under 46 will be given to file return within 15 days. If return not filed, best judgment and assessment under 62 will be initiated. Okay, see. Assessment of non-filers of return. Sir, here for a non-filer of return, straight away they can go with 73, 74, 74A proceedings also, the demand and demand proceedings. That they can do anyhow. But instead of going too harsh about a taxpayer, instead of opting to this 73, 74 route, they can even go with this process also. Like there are two options for them. Assessment of non-filers of return, best judgment assessment, notwithstanding anything in 73, 74. So they always have the right to go with 73, 74. Where registered person fails to file return under section 39, monthly, quarterly or final return. Okay, he fails to furnish return. Which return? The monthly return, GSTR 3B, quarterly return if he has opted for quarterly filing, plus notice under 46 has been issued, and to that notice also he didn't reply within 15 days, and taxable person fails to file return within the given time. Then proper officer can propose what? Best judgment assessment. How he carry out best judgment assessment? Based on the data available with him, he will carry out the best judgment assessment. Okay. Best judgment assessment order ASMT 13 has to be made within a period of 5 years from the date of furnishing of annual return from the financial year to which tax not paid relates. Understand, sir? Best judgment assessment order ASMT 13 has to be filed when? Within a period of 5 years from the date of furnishing of annual return from the financial year to which tax not paid related. So this date is important, sir. Best judgment order has to be filed within a period of 5 years from the date of furnishing of annual return from which the for the financial year to which the tax not paid is related. See, look at here. Time limit for order. August 2020, sir. I mean that month related tax not return not filed. August 2020. That means financial year 2021. Financial year 2021, by when the annual return has to be filed? Due date of annual return 31st December 2020. Sir, okay, due date of annual return is what? 31st December 2020. From there 5 years, see, within a period of 5 years from date of furnishing annual return. From there 5 years, now what is the time limit? 31st December 2025 is the time limit for filing, for passing the BJ order under section 62 of CGST Act. Okay. Then understand, sir. Proper officer carried out best judgment assessment, he issued assessment order to the taxable person, then taxable person woke up and filed a valid return within 30 days. Then also okay, sir. This proper officer need not to take it for his ego. Okay, he need not to be egoistic like I have sent you a message, I have posted due date, we again reminded you, then we given notice under 46. For all these you didn't file return, then I have initiated best judgment assessment. Now after best judgment order, if you file return, who am I to accept all this? Like this, proper officer need not to take it for ego. At least now he filed na, take it, accept it. Okay, issues assessment order, then files valid return within 30 days from services of assessment order, paid taxes, accept it, no problem. Accept it, no problem. Understand, sir? This is about what? Section 62, best judgment assessment for non-filers of return. Non-filers of return. Sir, time limit is important, sir. What is the time limit, sir? Section 62, best judgment assessment order has to be filed within 5 years from what? Due date of annual return for that financial year, for financial year to which such non-filing is related. To which such non-filing is related. If let's say non-filing is related to 22-23 financial year, that year annual return due date plus 5 years. Okay, I hope everybody understanding, sir. Then we are going on to 63, assessment of unregistered person, section 63. Notwithstanding section 73, 74, 74A, notwithstanding 73, 74, 74A. Again, here also, if they want, they can go to that route. Otherwise, they can opt here also. Okay. If a taxable person fails to register or whose registration is cancelled but liable to pay tax, sir, that fellow registration is cancelled, sir. Okay. Or he has the liability to register, liability to pay tax, but not yet registered. In such case, sir, if he is registered, 62, registered but not filing return, then they will initiate best judgment assessment under 62. This fellow not even registered, forget about filing return, first he is not even registered, but he has liability to pay tax. Next one, his registration, he is registered previously but registration cancelled. Thereafter the taxpayer came and the proper officer came to know that he has some pending tax liability. In such case, taxable person fails to register or whose registration is cancelled but liable to pay tax. Then what to be done, sir? Proper officer proceeds to assess under best judgment assessment. Proceeds to assess under best judgment assessment. Before making assessment, first he should give a notice to taxable person. If the taxable person has to reply within 15 days, okay, and thereafter, after giving an opportunity of being heard, this best judgment assessment order can be passed. What is the time limit for passing best judgment assessment orders are here? Same time limit, sir. 62 time limit only. What is the 62 time limit? 5 years from the date of filing of, due date of filing of annual return to which that non-filing or non-filing of return relates, right? Here, such non-payment of tax related. Due date for financial year to which non-payment relates from there 5 years. From there 5 years. Okay, so remember, sir, when 62 is applicable, when 63, both best judgment assessment only, but 62 is applicable in case where the taxpayer is not filing return even after notice under 46. 62. 63, taxpayer not yet registered but has liability to pay tax, or his registration cancelled but he has liability to pay tax, then he will initiate 63. Now we are proceeding for summary assessment, sir. Summary assessment. Sir, summary assessment, usually summary assessment will be carried out during the verification, like in highways and all. GST officers will detain the vehicles sometimes. Okay, they will halt the vehicles, they will verify what goods are being carried in, whether they have proper invoice, e-bill, everything and all. If at all certain documents are missing, then on spot immediately they will do quickly. That's called summary assessment. That's called summary assessment. So see, but there are certain things here. Proper officer, when he can initiate summary assessments, or see, he has evidence that taxable person has incurred a liability to pay tax. He has evidence. What is the evidence? Let's say, sir, the GST officer has halted a truck, detained a truck. There, 10 tons goods are there, invoice is there for 3 tons only, and the truck is already in transit. It's a clear cut point, right? Everybody will understand that there is a liability to pay tax, but that person didn't pay. They had evidence. What is evidence? Truck moving goods, everything is there. So they have evidence that taxable person has incurred a liability to pay tax. Next, and has sufficient ground to believe that delay may adversely affect interest of revenue. How? Let's say, sir, if they release the truck, then thereafter they might say they may say we not even carried the goods, or else they may sell off the goods somewhere and say we didn't even brought those goods. Something can be done. Okay, they can simply escape from there. Okay, that's why there are sufficient grounds. They don't want to delay it. In that case, what to do? Has sufficient ground to believe delay may adversely affect interest of revenue. Then they'll take permission of additional commissioner and joint commissioner, and pass as a summary order in ASMT 16. Understand, sir? Summary assessment, when it can be carried out, the proper officer has evidence that taxable person has incurred a tax liability, okay, and giving time, okay, and he has sufficient grounds to believe that if they delay and they do regular assessment and all, it's gonna affect adversely the interest of revenue. Then they can initiate summary assessment with the permission of additional commissioner or joint commissioner. Okay, they'll pass summary assessment order in ASMT 16. Okay, however, if additional commissioner or joint commissioner felt like the order is erroneous, or they can withdraw it on his own motion, or where the application is made by a taxable person within 30 days from receipt of order, then also they can withdraw the summary assessment order. Erroneous, there is some kind of mistake in that, then they can withdraw that. Understand, sir? Summary assessment. Sir, summary assessment is also little important only, sir. It could be asked. Provisional assessment, then summary assessment. In this scrutiny, these recourses are important, sir. What are the recourses available to proper officer when SSE not cooperating or not paying the tax interest penalty or not filing an explanation? What are the recourses? He can go for department audit, special audit under 66, inspection search seizure, or 73, 74, 74A proceedings. Then here in 62, 63, sir, they will not ask the concept straight away. Maximum they will ask about time limit. What is the time limit for passing best judgment assessment order under section 62 or 63? 5 years from the due date of furnishing annual return of the financial year to which such non-filing of return is related or such non-payment of tax is related. Understand? Then this one, sir. Liability pertains to supply of goods. What is this? Sir, they are doing summary assessment and the liability is related to supply of good. Okay, the truck is carrying certain goods and with respect to them some tax payable is there. Tax payable person to whom tax liability pertains is not ascertained. Sir, a truck came, sir. Once the GST people caught the truck driver left the truck and he left. He ran away. Okay, they couldn't catch the driver. So now for goods, no invoice, no document, nothing is there. They are transporting rice or they are transporting some goods, no invoice, no bill, nothing is there. Now what they can decide, who will be the owner, how they can decide. So then what the proviso says, the person in charge of the goods, whoever is the owner of the truck, such person will only be considered as the deemed taxable person. He is only liable to assess and he is only liable to pay tax. He is only liable to pay tax. Right? Then section 55 and 66, sir. Audit by tax authorities. What is audit by tax authorities? See, commissioner assessment. Sir, if you remember, sir, scrutiny, when the taxpayer is not cooperating, not paying the difference amount, not giving an explanation, give an explanation but not satisfactory, in those cases, proper officer has 4 recourses. One, he can go to department audit. Second, he can go to special audit. Third one, he can go to inspection search seizure proceedings. Or fourth one, he can even go for what? Demand proceedings. Okay, but the demand proceedings and all are not related to this chapter, but at least we'll discuss now about what? Audit by tax authorities. Okay, who is authorized to initiate such audit? See, commissioner or officer authorized by a commissioner can audit. Who can audit? Commissioner of GST or officer authorized by commissioner can do for GST audit. Audit for a financial year, the audit can be carried out for a full financial year, part financial year, or even for multiple financial years. Audit can be carried out for a part financial year, full financial year, multiple financial year. Okay, where this audit has to be carried out? At the place of business or office. At the place of business or office. Okay. Date of commencement of audit. What is date of commencement of audit? Date records or accounts made available or actual institution of audit at place of business, whichever is later. Date, sir, when the audit will be considered as started, sir? Audit has to be carried out by commissioner or officer authorized by commissioner for a financial year, part financial year, or multiple financial years at the place of business. 3 points done, right? Okay. Then the fourth point, when we can say like the audit has been commenced. The audit will be considered as commenced when the team actually came to the place of business of taxpayer or registered person, first one, or the day, sir, the department people came, sir, and they are asking to provide them books with based on books of accounts only, right? They can do audit. But this fellow taxpayer is saying like my books are there, my books are here, like that. He is not providing them books for 5 days. Then audit will not be considered as commenced. Audit will be considered as commenced when the books are made available or actual institution of audit, whichever is later. The date records accounts made available or actual institution of audit at place of business, whichever is later. Whichever is later. Time limit. What is the time limit, sir? The time limit for commencement of audit is like 3 months. The time limit is like 3 months. However, it can be extended for 6 months by commissioner. The time limit is like 3 months. However, it can be extended for another 6 months by commissioner. Okay. Understand, sir? Let me give you, sir, clarity. Who can authorize the audit or who can initiate audit? Commissioner or officer authorized by commissioner. For what part? For a financial year, part of financial year, or for multiple financial years also. Where the audit has to be carried out? At the place of business, principal place of business of taxpayer. Okay, when the audit will be considered as commenced? The actual institution of audit. I mean, when they came and started the audit process, or the day when they came, commissioner or his officers came and started audit, or the day when the books are made available. That's the date of commencement of audit. Fine. Within how much time the audit has to be completed by them, sir? They has to complete such audit within 3 months. Within 3 months. However, 6 months can be, another extension of 6 months can be made by commissioner. Now see, process of audit. What they'll do in audit? They'll verify books of accounts, returns, statements. Verifies books of accounts, record statements, and then they will verify the correctness of turnover, whether the turnover they reported is correct or not, the exemptions provided are valid or not, whether any deduction they claimed, rate of tax they claimed, IDC availed, whether everything is like reasonable, allowed as per the act or not. All these they will verify and ensure that they are correct. After all these, they will record observations. They will record observations. Okay. All these process, what registered person has to do? So, registered person is bound to facilitate verification, bound to provide information, bound to provide any assistance needed to the proper officer. Bound to provide any assistance needed to the proper officer. See, what is the process of audit, sir? During the process of audit, the department commissioner or officer authorized by commissioner will verify records, statements, books of accounts. And then they will verify the correctness of, whether they are correct or not. Also they will verify what? Turnover, ITC availed, exemptions they availed, deductions or rate of tax they have taken. They will verify and record their observations. All this process, what the registered person has to do? He should provide assistance. Let's say they are using a system. Commissioner wants to generate a report from SAP system. You don't know all those T codes and all. This taxpayer should help him in generating those reports, whatever he has needed. He should provide whatever the information asked and to facilitate verification. Facilitate verification. Okay, done. Then what else? Then proper officer, he has recorded observations, right? So based on his observations, he will find out discrepancies. Such differences he will communicate to registered person. What registered person has to do? Registered person has to file audit observations. Files reply about audit observations. After considering the reply observations, then he will finalizes the findings after considering the reply of registered person. Okay, sir, just because he did audit, he will not make a report. After his observations, he will file a report to the registered person stating like these are the differences we have identified during the audit. So, what is your reply? Registered person has to reply for those audit observations and then finalizes the findings after considering the reply. After considering the reply. Sir, everybody, are you there? Guys are there or not? Reply. Then where the audit results in tax not paid. So during the audit they identified what? There is tax not paid, tax short paid. So tax not paid na, on a supply they didn't even pay tax, not paid. Short paid means what? They paid tax but at a lower rate, tax short paid. Or they shouldn't get refund but they got refund, erroneously refunded. Or wrongly availment of ITC. Where the audit results into any of these four things: tax not paid, short paid, erroneous refund, or wrongly availment of ITC, then proper officer may initiate action under 73, 74, 74A. Nothing but demand proceedings. Demand proceedings. See, department audit. If ultimately through department audit they came to a conclusion that tax not paid, short paid, erroneous refund, wrongly availment of ITC, 4 reasons, then they can go for demand proceedings. Demand proceedings. See, understand, sir. When it is department audit, who has to do? Commissioner or an officer authorized by commissioner. Okay. For any financial year, multiple financial years, part financial year, at the place of business of taxpayer. Okay, fine. When the audit will be considered as commenced, when the books of accounts and records made available, or the actual institution of audit, whichever is later. Fine. What is the period or the time limit for completion of audit under section 65? 3 months. However, it can be extended by the commissioner for another 6 months. Another 6 months. Okay. From where, sir? 3 months. From the date of commencement of audit within 3 months. Fine. Done. Then how this audit process goes? The team, the commissioner, whoever comes for audit, has to verify the records, statements, books of accounts provided, and has to verify the correctness of books of accounts, turnover, ITC level, tax rate they have taken, exemptions, and then they will record observations. In this process of audit, what registered person has to do? He should provide assistance, provide technical support, and provide assistance whatever has been asked. Okay. Then finally there are certain differences based on audit. Such differences has to be communicated to the registered person. Registered person will give replies to them. Considering all those replies, the final report will be made. Okay. If at all the department audit ultimately results into, they came to a conclusion that tax not paid, short paid, erroneous refund, or wrongly availment of ITC, such, okay, what they can do, sir? Proper officer may initiate action under 73, 74, 74A. Okay. Then special audit under section 66. officer not below the rank of assistant commissioner, officer not below the special audit, sir. Sir, understand, sir, just because you have income tax audit, just because you have a GST audit or any other company's audit, it doesn't mean department audit or special audit cannot be there. Okay, special audit is a extra thing which is asked under GST. Even if departmental audit carried out, again they can order for special audit also. Okay, so special audit, for carrying out special audit, there is no other restriction. In any case, any circumstance, special audit can be initiated. See, officer not below the rank of assistant commissioner carrying scrutiny, enquiry, investigation. Not below the rank of assistant commissioner while carrying out any scrutiny, enquiry or investigation. Okay, while carrying out any scrutiny, enquiry, investigation of a registered person. They are carrying out what? Scrutiny, inquiry, investigation of a registered person. Regard to nature, complexity, interest of revenue. While carrying out scrutiny, inquiry or investigation, they have regarding the nature of complexity of transactions, interest of revenue, they came to an opinion that what? Value not declared correctly or ITC is not availed within the limits. So let's say there is a registered person. For him, some scrutiny is carried out, return filing time scrutiny. Some enquiry is made, investigation is made, okay, to you. While doing that, considering the nature of transactions, the complexities involved, high volume of transactions and the tax involved, they came to an opinion that this fellow didn't declare value correctly. I mean, he is suppressing value, or else he is availing ITC more than which is the limit, more than which is the limit. Correct only. You are correct only. Due date of annual return is like 2021, 2026. Yes. Nice observation. Thanks for correcting it. See, special audit, officer not below the rank of assistant commissioner carrying scrutiny, enquiry, investigation of a registered person regarding the nature, complexity, interest of revenue, they are of the opinion that valued not declared correctly or ITC not availed within the limits. Then they should first take the approval of commissioner and then they will issue directions to the registered person to get his records, books of accounts audited by a CA or CMA nominated by commissioner. So special audit will not be carried out by a department person. That has to be carried out by a practicing CA or CMA. So they will issue directions to get his records, books of accounts audited by a CA or CMA nominated by commissioner. See, special audit. So officer not below the rank of assistant commissioner while carrying out scrutiny, enquiry, investigation of a registered person regarding the nature, complexity and the amount of tax involved, they came to conclusion that value not declared properly or ITC availed in excess of limits. Then they will take the permission of commissioner and will issue directions to the registered person to get his records, books of accounts audited by a CA, CMA nominated by commissioner. CA or CMA nominated by commissioner. Then how many days, sir? Within how many days this special audit has to be carried out? Within 90 days. Within 90 days. However, another 90 days extension can be made by assistant commissioner. Another 90 days. Okay. Sir, for this CA, CMA fees has to be paid now. Who will pay this fees? Sir, this fee has to be paid by commissioner only. Why? This audit is not for the purpose of taxpayer. Department has certain doubts. So they want it corrected. That's why they only have to pay the fees. Okay, opportunity of being heard. So before finalizing the audit based on their observations, first they need to explain their observations to the registered person. Then registered person has to give a reply. After giving his reply, opportunity of being heard only, conclusion will be made. On conclusion audit, findings will be again informed to the registered person. Where the audit results here also, tax not paid, short paid, erroneous refund or wrongly availment of ITC. Ultimately here also they will go to what? 73, 74 or 74A proceedings. Ultimately they will go to what? 73, 74 or 74A proceedings. Understand? With this, we have completed which chapter, sir? Assessment and audit chapter. Sir, in provisional assessment, sir, there is a chance of asking question, but nothing, sir. The same, whatever the example I explained, that same kind of example only will be there. Okay, you can solve even in institute matter also a question. You will easily understand. There is nothing great. Okay, this concept. Then this department audit or special audit, there will be straight theory questions. Straight theory questions. That alone you need to prepare. Okay, and that theory also I have discussed in Superthon also, sir. Anyhow, you will be watching Superthon also, right? So there also it will get covered. So now we will be going on to our next chapter, sir. Appeals. One second, guys. Hi all. See quickly, within an hour we'll discuss appeals chapter, and appeals chapter, sir, there's an exam question in June 25 exam and even in December 25 exam. Sorry, not December 25. Of course, December 25 exam also there will be a question from this chapter expecting in 8A. Even in December 24 exam there are like questions from this chapter. appeals. Okay. Adjudicating authority. First, sir, let me tell you a background. So there is a proper officer, okay, who has passed an assessment order, normal or best judgment assessment order, or a demand order under 73, 74, 74A. Okay, this proper officer has passed an order. Now, this proper officer who passed an order, right? This fellow is called as what? He has a name. This proper officer altogether they are called as what? Adjudication authority. He is called as what? Adjudication authority. A adjudication authority. So, where an adjudication authority passes an order and you being a taxpayer not convinced, not satisfied with that order. So, on adjudicating authority, you can go for an appeal. Okay. Sir, with whom you will go for an appeal? Sir, with appellate authority. Okay. On the order of adjudicating authority, if an appeal has to be made, then the appeal will go to A. A and not Allu Arjun sir. It's about appellate authority. A means what? Appellate authority. We'll discuss who is that appellate authority, who will be there, what they will do, that we will go in depth. Okay, sir. Sir, this appellate authority passed an order, sir. That also you are not convinced. Then you wanted to go for an appeal. Then the appeal will goes to tribunal. The appeal will goes to tribunal. But the problem is in tribunal there will be two benches. One is state bench. The other one is like national bench. State bench, national bench. So now state bench order you wanted to go for an appeal. Then state bench related order you will appeal with High Court. State bench order related you will appeal with what? High Court. Then on High Court order, you gonna appeal with Supreme Court. You gonna appeal with Supreme Court. Then if it is national bench order, directly the appeal is gonna with Supreme Court. The appeal is gonna with Supreme Court. That's what, sir. Sorry, Supreme Court order also I didn't like, then die. Okay, so if Supreme Court order na, sir, actually there is nothing like Supreme Court order, but how actually goes na, sir, in Supreme Court there will be bench like single bench, okay, then 3 members bench, like that. Within Supreme Court also there will be multiple benches will be listening, so you will be going for a higher bench only, understand? So then if at all the higher bench including Chief Justice of India is also involved, they also rejected, okay, then you cannot go for a appeal. Okay, that's the Supreme Court is the final authority where you can go for an appeal. On Supreme Court we can't go for an appeal, understand? Adjudicating authority. Adjudicating authority means what? Means any authority appointed or authorized to pass any order. Sorry. Adjudicating authority means any authority appointed or authorized to pass any order or decision. Adjudicating authority means any GST authority which has the power to take a decision or to pass an order under this act, but does not include the following. CBAC is not an adjudicating authority. Okay. Then revisional authority. So revisional authority has separate powers. So revisional authority is not an adjudicating authority. CBAC is not an adjudicating authority. The authority for advanced ruling. So what is called advanced ruling? Sometimes you are going to start a new business, new segment, new kind of transactions you are going to enter. Then you don't want to travel with uncertainty, because you think one thing, thereafter the department people think it in another way, and you ending up with tax liabilities only. To avoid that, first itself you can apply to the advanced ruling authority. Okay, advanced ruling authority. So what they will do, they'll clearly analyze the issue and they try to tell what is the view of department and all, or what, how the tax will be levied on it, how the value of supply has to be taken, all those things. So you will have clarity initially itself. Okay, you'll not be having a trouble in the future or legal tax dues in the future. That's why, to avoid all the things, they initially go for what? Advanced ruling. Understand? So means any authority, adjudicating authority means any authority appointed or authorized to pass any order or decision under this act, but does not include CBIC, revisional authority, authority for advanced ruling, appellate authority for advanced ruling, appellate authority, appellate tribunal, because sir, appellate authority, appellate tribunal are for appeal hearing process only, so they also won't be considered, and authority for anti-profiteering. Nothing but this original kind of orders will be there, right? Assessment order, best judgment order, demand order. These are called as adjudicating authorities. On these orders you can go for appeal. They are called as appellate authorities. The originally order passed person will be there, right? He is called adjudicating authority. Okay, sir, let's say school teacher did something, sir. Okay, he said you like you have been suspended, you don't come to school tomorrow. Then this is an order given by what? School teacher. So he is something like adjudicating authority. Now teacher na higher, who will be there? Principal. So you will go to principal. Now principal will become what? Appellate authority. Understand? Appellate authority means an authority appointed or authorized to hear appeals as referred under this section are called as what? 107 are called appellate authority. Fine. Then revisional authority. Revisional authority means an authority appointed or authorized for revision of decision or orders as referred in section 108. Okay, as per 108, if they are have the power to revise, then they are called as what? Revisional authorities. Then appellate tribunal. Appellate tribunal, the tribunal constituted as per CGST Act. Goods and service tax appellate tribunal is called appellate tribunal. See now. Order passed by adjudicating authority. Order passed by adjudicating authority is appealed with appellate authority. Order passed by adjudicating authority is appealed with appellate authority, and then it's again appealed with tribunal, and tribunal has two benches: national bench, state bench. With respect to national bench, sir, I said na here, state bench, national bench. With respect to national bench, the appeal should go directly to Supreme Court. From state bench, it can go to High Court, and from High Court, it will move to Supreme Court. Understand? Sir, national bench order can't be appealed with High Court. It has to be appealed only with Supreme Court. Now, first we'll go with the first one, sir. Process to appeal to the appellate authority. Okay. So, who is appellate authority? How an appeal can be made with appellate authority? Sir, understand, sir, don't confuse here. Adjudicating authority, the original officers who has passed an order, like assessment order, they are called adjudicating authorities. That order you didn't like, so you're gonna complain, you're gonna challenge it with someone. So, okay, that person with whom you are challenging is called as appellate authority. Okay, so appellate authority, who can act as appellate authority? An officer not below the rank of joint commissioner if the order is passed by DC or AC. Sir, look at the hierarchy, sir, here. There will be principal chief commissioner, GST. There will be chief commissioner, GST. Then there will be principal commissioner, GST. Then there will be commissioner. Below the commissioner, there will be additional commissioner, and then joint commissioner, and there will be deputy commissioner, and there will be assistant commissioner. Okay, and there will be inspector. Okay, so this is the hierarchy you understand, sir. What is the hierarchy, sir? Here in officers, PCC, Principal Chief Commissioner, then CC, Chief Commissioner, then PC, Principal Commissioner, then Commissioner. Then below commissioners, who will be there, sir? There will be Additional Commissioner, there will be Joint Commissioner, then Deputy Commissioner, then Assistant Commissioner. Here we call them as like inspectors. This is the hierarchy. Now, if an officer below Joint Commissioner, like Deputy Commissioner, Inspector, has passed the original order, so these people are nothing but what? Adjudication authorities. Then who will act as appellate authority? Above them only, right? So who are those acting as appellate authority? This Additional Commissioner or Joint Commissioner will be the appellate authority. See, officer order passed by DC or AC below them, then officer not below rank of JC will be acting as appellate authority. Then where the order is passed by Additional Commissioner, they only passed original order. If these people only passed original order, then they only called as adjudicating authority. Then who will be the appellate authority? Commissioner or Principal Commissioner will become appellate authority. The rank above them will become appellate authority. Okay. See, order passed by Additional Commissioner or Joint Commissioner, then Commissioner will become the appellate authority. So Commissioner of Appeals will become the appellate authority. Understand, sir? So let me make it clear, sir. If the order is passed by inspectors or by Assistant Commissioner, Deputy Commissioner, then the appellate authority is like Additional Commissioner or Joint Commissioner. If that is the order is passed by Additional Commissioner or Joint Commissioner, then the appellate authority will be Additional Commissioner or Joint Commissioner, then the appellate authority will be Commissioner. Right? See, so who can, sir, usually we think like only taxpayer will file appeal. No. If at all, this inspector has passed an order, sir. Additional commissioner felt like this order passed by them is like not correct. Okay, there is revenue loss. Then department itself also can go for appeal. Sir, order passed by department people only, na? They themselves also can go for what? Appeal. So order passed by department people only, then also they can go for appeal. If order passed by they themselves can go for appeal. Obviously, taxpayer anyhow they has a right to go for an appeal. Taxpayer, no doubt at all, because order passed by department, he is not satisfied with that order. He always has the right to go for an appeal. But department people also can go for an appeal if they didn't satisfied with the order they passed only. Okay, see. So with appellate authority, taxpayer, aggrieved person, he is not convinced with the order. He can go for an appeal within 3 months from date of communication of impugned order. What is called impugned order? The original order is there, na? The original order passed by adjudicating authority. If that order, from that order, communication, not from, communication, let's say if it is posted the day when you receive, but these days everything online only, na? So it's like instantly only it gets communicated. But previously there used to be even manual communication also. The order used to be posted. So it's not the date of order. It's the date of order you have received. It's got communicated to you. From there 3 months is the time limit for going for an appeal. And the appeal has to be made in form APL 01. However, there is an extension possible by the appellate authority for a period of 1 month. So appellate authority, who can make an appeal? Taxpayer can make an appeal. In which form? APL 01. Within how much period? Within 3 months from the date of communication of impugned order. I mean the order on which you are having a dispute, you are having a problem. From communication of such order within 3 months, you can go for an appeal. Okay, then department. Sir, department also has to go for an appeal, sir. Yes, department can make an appeal within 6 months from date of communication. Department can go for an appeal 6 months. Taxpayer na 3 months only. Department has time for how many months? 3 months, and they will make an appeal within APL 03. Okay, here also extension will be there 1 month. Okay, then no fees has to be paid, sir, when you are going for an appeal for appellate authority. Okay, so there is no appeal fee either for taxpayer or even for department also. You are making an appeal with appellate authority, no fees applicable to you. Dispose, however, appellate authority, sir, there is a recommendatory time limit, sir. It's not mandatory time limit. Recommendatory time limit, within 1 year the case has to be disposed. They should follow principle of natural justice. I mean, in a usual courtroom and all, how they'll proceed or they'll do the proceedings to find out the justice, the same thing has to be followed. On filing appeal, provisional acknowledgement shall be issued immediately. Once an appeal is filed, provisional acknowledgement will be issued immediately. So our pre-deposits are very important, sir. Very important, sir, pre-deposit. Okay, there could be an MCQ or a question definitely from pre-deposit. Pre-deposit for appeal, and this pre-deposit is not applicable for department. So when the appeal is gonna make by department, they need not to do any pre-deposits. If the appeal is gonna be made by a taxpayer, appeal is going to be made by a taxpayer, there is no fee, but he needs to do a pre-deposit. So what is this pre-deposit? See, sir, let me give you an example. Sir, Assistant Commissioner AC passed an assessment order. Passed assessment order. In his order, he has finalized like tax 4,50,000, interest some 65,000, and penalty 10,000. Penalty 10,000. So this is the total liability through which the order has been passed. Out of this, you are accepting 3 lakhs tax, interest some 25,000, penalty nothing you have been accepted. Okay, so whatever you have accepted, that you pay. This you accepted na, pay as pre-deposit. Why? Because with this you are not having any dispute na. So before going for an appeal, whatever you have agreed that you pay. Okay, plus additionally, what is the disputed? So I am writing here disputed 1,50,000. Sir, disputed related tax only relevant. Interest penalty disputed also we don't agree. Sir, interest disputed how much? 40,000 is there. Penalty disputed 10,000 is there. But that is not relevant. Only on disputed tax into 10%. Disputed tax into 10%. Okay. So you should pay the accepted one. Tax, interest, penalty accepted 3,25,000 plus disputed tax alone, not disputed tax, interest, penalty, only on disputed tax. How much? 15,000. Okay, so total how much? 3,40,000. So assumed all this is like IGST. If it is CGST, SGST na, 10% on CGST, 10% on SGST. Understand? 10% of the full amount of tax, interest, fine, fee, penalty admitted. 10% of the disputed tax amount. 10% of the disputed tax amount. %% of the disputed tax amount. Sorry, sir, 1 second. Hello, all. Did you guys finish your dinner? Did you guys finish your dinner or not? I have taken your dinner time, right? Okay, I'll finish up, sir. Pre-deposit for appeal. Full amount of tax, interest, fine, fee, penalty admitted plus 10% of the disputed tax, whether it is CGST, SGST. So total 3,40,000. However, there is a maximum limit, sir. The maximum limit is like the maximum pre-deposit is like CGST or CGST 20 crores, SGST the maximum is like 20 crores, and if it is IGST the maximum limit is like 40 crores. This is the pre-deposit. When you want to make an appeal, you need to deposit this as a pre-deposit. Okay. Then the order appealed. Sir, pre-deposits are very important, sir. So what is the pre-deposit for appellate authority, sir? The amount of tax, interest, penalty accepted plus 10% of disputed tax amount. However, the maximum is 20 crores CGST and 20 crores SGST, IGST na 40 crores. Then, so the order we are going to appeal. Sir, originally there is adjudicating authority, right? This adjudicating authority passed order. This order you are not satisfied. Okay, you are agreeing with this. So you are making an appeal with this. So now, first whether this order copy available online, I mean in the portal available or not, you need to check. Yes, sir, that order copy available on portal. Then if it is available on portal, then the date of appeal is nothing but date of filing the appeal on the day provisional acknowledgement is issued. I mean, you once made an appeal, again you need not to upload order copy. Sir, usually, see, manually what the process is like, if the order appealed is manually given, then that order copy, this taxpayer, again he need to sign it, attest it and need to upload again. So this is the order copy on which I am making an appeal. If it is already available in online, why again he need to upload it, right? So manually he need to upload. Within how many days? Within 7 days from making an appeal. 7 days from making an appeal. If we upload within 7 days, then the date of provisional acknowledgement is only the final acceptance of appeal date also. If he didn't upload within 7 days, the day when he uploaded the order copy, that day only will be considered as appeal has been made. Today you have made an appeal, order copy not uploaded manually. No problem. Provisional acknowledgement will be issued to you. From here 7 days time is there. Within 7 days you uploaded order copy, then today itself will be considered as your date of appeal. Within 7 days you didn't uploaded order copy, then the day when you upload, such day itself will be considered as date of appeal. Such day itself will be considered as what? Date of appeal. Fine, clear. Then if it is online, why again you need not to upload? It's already available in the portal. If you can download, even the officer also can download. So you'll download directly from there. So you need not to upload again. That's why the date of provisional acknowledgement itself is the date of appeal. Date of appeal, right? A final acknowledgement will be issued after submission of certified copy of order. Then the authority, what they can do, sir, will pass a reasoned order, may either confirm the previous order, may modify the previous order, or they may annul the decision or order, annul and nullify that order. Okay, the order which they made is communicated to the appellant, respondent, the department, and even to the adjudicating authority whose order is appealed. Adjudicating authority whose order has been appealed. Understand? Understand, sir? So let me quickly, sir, revise. Who is appellate authority, sir? Where the order is passed by DC or AC, then officer like additional commissioner or joint commissioner will become what? Appellate authority. If the order is passed by additional commissioner or joint commissioner, then appellate authority is like commissioner of appeals. A taxpayer has to make an appeal within 3 months from date of communication of order in APL 01. Extension can be given for another 1 month. Whereas department has to make an appeal within 6 months from date of communication. Extension 1 month is possible. They will make it in APL 03. No fees for making an appeal with appellate authority. Okay. Usually a recommendatory time limit is there. Within 1 year they need to dispose the appeal. Follow principle of natural justice. On filing appeal, a provisional acknowledgement will be issued. Okay. Pre-deposit. What is the pre-deposit, sir? The tax, interest, penalty accepted plus 10% of disputed tax is the pre-deposit for appellate authority. Maximum 20 crores CGST, 20 crores SGST and IGST na 40 crores. Order appealed is already available on portal. Then the date of appeal is date of filing the appeal. If it is not available, then order uploaded, we should check whether it is uploaded within 7 days or not. If uploaded within 7 days, provisional acknowledgement daily date of appeal. Not uploaded in 7 days and date of uploading. Understand, sir? A final acknowledgement is issued after submission. What this appellate authority can do? They can either confirm the adjudicating authority order, they can modify that one, they can completely cancel, nullify that order. Okay? The final decision, whatever that are taken, has to be communicated to the appellant, respondent, and even to the adjudicating authority whose order is appeal. Then, appeal process to revisional authority. Revisional authority. Revisional authority has the power to revise any decision or order passed by a subordinate officer. If it is improper, sir, see, revisional authority, what it has the power to revise any decision already taken. Adjudicating authority, already they taken a decision, right? Sir, it's not like, sir, here, understand, it's not like appellate authority and appellate authority is inferior to revisional authority or revisional authority is superior to appellate authority. Appellate authority and revisional authority are like parallel level of authorities. Okay, they are like parallel only. It's not like hierarchy. Appellate authority order and even revisional authority order, both will go to what? Tribunal only. Okay, they will be appealed with what? Tribunal. So, appellate authority and revisional authority are like parallel level authorities. Okay, you cannot go an appellate authority order to be revised with revisional authority, or revisional authority order can be appealed with appellate authority. Okay, these two are like parallel level authorities. Understand? Okay. So, when revisional authority has the power to revise, it can revise any decision or order passed by its subordinate na lower level officer. If it is improper, they didn't did it correctly, or illegal, they didn't follow the law properly, or prejudicial to revenue, against to the interest of revenue, or on consequence to any observations of C&AG CAG. Okay, based on C&AG reports, they found out like it is something prejudicial to the interest of revenue, then they can take it for revision. See, revisional authority. Revisional authority can take up, before going, sir, we'll see what is called revision, who is called revisional authority. Sir, if the original order is passed by, adjudicating authority is additional commissioner or joint commissioner, then first lower level, deputy commissioner or assistant commissioner acted as adjudicating authority. Then their higher level, additional commissioner or joint commissioner will act as revisional authority. If at all additional commissioner or joint commissioner is acting as additional commissioner or joint commissioner is acting, then who will act as revisional authority? Principal commissioner or commissioner will act as revisional authority. So, same previously only, sir. ACDC adjudicating authority, then revisional authority is on additional commissioner or joint commissioner. If additional commissioner or joint commissioner is only adjudicating authority, then principal commissioner or commissioner will act as revisional authority. Okay. Sir, do I need to apply for making revision? No. As a taxpayer, you have only the right to go for an appeal. Sir, appeal time 3 months only, na sir. That time I slept, sir. Then ask for 1 month extension. 1 month extension is there, sir. So that time I win drowsiness, sir. That time only I woke up, I didn't appeal. Then there is no other option. You can't apply for revision. But department side, they have a benefit, sir. Sir, department side also, they found out like in the initial adjudicating authority order, there is some kind of prejudicialness to the revenue. Then they can go for an appeal within 6 months. Sir, 6 months whole department slept, sir. Extra 1 month time is there, na? Go for extension and go with the appeal process. Sir, that 1 month time also we are on holiday, sir. Then department has the revision option also. Taxpayer doesn't have the option to apply for revision. But interestingly, in income tax, sir, taxpayer also can apply for revision. But whereas in GST, the taxpayer doesn't have the option to apply for revision. Okay. So, revisional authority on its own motion. So, that revisional authority, nobody needs to apply for it. On its own motion, it by reviewing the subordinates orders and all, it felt like that is improper, illegal, prejudicial to the interest of revenue. It can straight away taken it for revision. Or this is CGST, na? SGST commissioner observed it and said and informed it to the CGST commissioner like in this order prejudicial to the revenue. So please consider it. So upon request by SGST or UTGST commissioner, that it can be taken up for revision. It can be taken up for revision, but only when the appeal time is completed. Okay, the time limit for appeal is already expired, then only they can come for revision. Okay sir, after 6 months they will come for revision. Sir, after 6 months anytime they can come now. Sir, after 30 years if they come for revision, now who will be there, sir, to explain? That's why the maximum time is what? 3 years. So from the date of original order, within 6 months they can go for appeal. That 6 months time is completed. Then after 6 months they can come for revisional authority, but within 3 years from date of communication of original order. From date of communication of original order. Okay. Time limit greater than 6 months but less than or equal to 3 years from date of communication of original order. Time limit is greater than 6 months but less than or equal to 3 years from date of communication of original order. Okay. So now revisional authority may revise an order if the order is erroneous or prejudicial to revenue. Order is erroneous or prejudicial to revenue, and the order is not appealed. Sir, if already the order has been taken up for appeal, then revision cannot be taken. It can't. Okay, it is not taken for appeal, then only revision. Either under appellate authority, tribunal, high court, supreme court, and it's not even time bad. Time bad now what? Within that after 6 months and before 3 years. Okay, order has been already taken for revision earlier stage. Sir, already once taken for revision, then they rejected it. Now again they can't take the same order for revision. Okay. Then before passing the order, the taxpayer, so revisional authority, before paying the order, the taxpayer should be given an opportunity of being heard. But revisional authority, sir, should confirm the original order, modify the order or cancel the order and pass a fresh one. Revisional authority can confirm the original order, modify the order and cancel. Analyze the original order and pass a fresh one. Then appeal. Either with appellate authority, revisional authority or with tribunal, high court, supreme court. In any case, you can't go for an appeal in certain cases. What are those? Appeals not to be filed in certain cases as per section 121. First one, sir, order sanctioning prosecution under this act. What is called prosecution? Asking for the witnesses and then cross-examining the witnesses, that's called prosecution. So the authorities has sanctioned prosecution. To prove a point, they asked to call for witnesses also. So you are questioning that prosecution can't be initiated. Sir, that's the usual process of natural justice, sir. If there is some claim on you or something made on you, then you need to prove, okay, that you are not guilty, then obviously the prosecution will start. So if prosecution is initiated, you have an objection with prosecution. On objecting prosecution, you can't go for an appeal. Okay, so prosecution is a normal thing. Then order under section 80. Sir, in demand and recovery chapter, sir, in recovery, actually recovery proceedings, sir, that fellow don't know that there is tax payable. So 5 years he did business and he didn't pay taxes. Now the government issued him a demand notice stating like he need to pay 5 crores. Sir, 5 crores instantly he cannot pay. That's why he is asking to pay in installments. So they even allowed the installments like 18 installments. But this fellow didn't like the 18 installments. He is asking 24 installments, not 18. So for that he can't go for an appeal. That's a choice of them. Okay, for fixing installments, if you didn't like the number of installments they given for your recovery of tax, that you didn't like, you can't go for an appeal. Then order directing transfer of proceedings from one officer to another. So there is an ex-officer, sir, same level, assistant commissioner only. So he initially taken up your case and he is doing the process and all. You paid him, you given him some gift. Okay, so he is doing everything on a good way, in a acceptable way. But now the officer has been changed. In the same place some other came, your case has been transferred to some other officer, same rank, but some other officer. Now your problem is what? You already gifted so much to the old officer. Now again you need to give them. That's why you are objecting transfer of case. So you wanted to go for an appeal. No, that's not possible. Okay. Order directing transfer of proceeding from one officer to another. Order pertaining to seizure, retention of books of accounts, register and other documents. If there is any order made to seize your books of accounts, retain your books of accounts, documents and other things, on that order also you can't go for an appeal. On them also you can't go for an appeal. So appeals not to be filed on order sanctioning prosecution, order under section 8 that to payment of tax in installments, order directing transfer of proceedings from one officer to another, order pertaining to seizure or retention of books of accounts, register or other documents. On this you can't go for an appeal. Then appellate tribunal. So now we are moving on to what, sir? Appellate tribunal. Appellate tribunal under GST laws. So this will hear appeals against orders passed by appellate authority or revisional authority. So which can be made appealed before appellate tribunal, sir? Here appeals against orders passed by appellate authority or revisional authority. Appeals passed against order passed by appellate authority or revisional authority. Appellate tribunal under GST law. Principal bench. Here where the issue and state bench. Principal bench. Here is where issue involved is related to, sir, principal bench. Now this is only called as national bench. And this state bench is also called as regional bench. Okay, so when a case will go with principal bench, here the case is, if it is related to place of supply, then it will go to principal bench. Okay, if the case is related to place of supply, then it will go to principal bench. Okay, notification with oversee with compliance of anti-profiteering provision, whether IDC available by registered person have been used to reduce the cost of goods or benefit of tax. Okay, even anti-profiteering provision also not an important one, sir. So see, appellate tribunal. Appellate tribunal having two benches, national bench, state bench. National bench is what? It will hear issues with respect to place of supply. Why? Sir, place of supply involves two different states, interstate transaction. So in that case, state bench will not hear, because state bench now they will be favored towards their state. That's why it will be listened by national bench. Whereas other issues now it will be listened by state bench. Okay. So any order passed by appellate authority, revisional authority can be appealed with appellate tribunal. Tribunal has two benches, principal bench and even state bench. Now, sir, see. Sir, don't look it confusing, sir. Okay, you will understand. Just be little patient, you will understand everything. You will understand everything. Be little patient. That's it. Appellate tribunal. How many are there, sir? There is a principal or national bench and there is a state or area bench. Okay, in state area bench, there will be an issue other than place of supply. Whereas in national bench, the appeal will be with respect to issues of place of supply. Issues of place of supply. Sir, if it is an order passed by national bench, then the appeal directly lies with Supreme Court. If it is an appeal related to, if at all state bench or area bench order, you need to go for an appeal, tribunal only. But state bench tribunal passed an order. On that order you want to go for an appeal, go to High Court. If it is a national bench order, on that you want to go for an appeal, go to Supreme Court. Okay, but national bench will take up issues with respect to place of supply only, whereas area bench will take other than place of supply. Okay, then who will be there in this state or area bench, sir? There will be one judicial member, one technical member from state and one technical member from center. And even in national bench also there will be one president and one technical member from state and one technical member from center. Okay, then see. To the appellate tribunal, sir, a appeal can be made. Okay, sir, usually manual filing is not allowed. If the registrar allows, then they can do manual filing also. So to appellate tribunal, aggrieved person, it could be the taxpayer or even the department. If it is the taxpayer, he has to file to the tribunal within 3 months from date of communication in APL 05. Within 3 months. Extension of another 3 months from date of communication. Department also 3 months only, sir. If you remember appellate authority, taxpayer 3 months, department has 6 months time, but here both are having 3 months time only. Once an appeal is made, then the tribunal will give provisional acknowledgement immediately. Then the order copy, if it is already uploaded in portal, then date of provisional acknowledgement itself is date of filing appeal. When the provisional acknowledgement is issued, that day itself will be considered as date of filing the appeal. If there is not uploaded, then self-certified copy has to be uploaded. We should check whether it is uploaded within 7 days or after 7 days. Uploaded within 7 days, then the date of provisional acknowledgement is only date of filing appeal. If not uploaded within 7 days, then the date of appeal is date of submission of such certified copy. Okay, once all this is made, then final acknowledgement will be issued on removal of defect as per the above dates. Then tribunal, sir, once it received an appeal, let's say taxpayer made an appeal to the tribunal, then it should send a notice to the counterparty, respondent, department. If department filed an appeal, then the respondent will be taxpayer. It will send a notice. So tribunal will send a notice to respondent. Then respondent has to file memorandum of cross objection within 45 days from date of notice. Respondent has to file memorandum of cross objections within 40 days, 5 days from date of notice in APL 06 electronically. Has to file a memorandum of cross objection in which form, sir? APL 06, that also electronically. Okay. Now fees for appeal, sir, important, sir. Fees for appeal important. What is the fees for appeal, sir? Rupees 1000 for every 1 lakh. Okay, rupees 1000 for every 1 lakh of tax, interest, penalty. Okay. Okay, 1 lakh tax, interest, penalty involved. However, minimum penalty, minimum fee will be 5,000, maximum will be 25,000. However, sir, you are making an appeal where there does not involve any tax, interest, penalty, then the fees to be paid is 5,000. If it is related to any rectification of error, then the fees is like no fees. Fees for appeal, sir. Okay, they have already asked a question on this, sir. Fee for appeal. For every 1 lakh, 1,000 rupees has to be paid. Okay, let me show you that MCQ, sir. There is an MCQ asked previously. This one, sir. QRP Company Limited was aggrieved by 3 different orders of appellate authority on 25th April 2023 and want to file 3 different appeals before appellate tribunal. The amount of tax involved are as follows. In case number 1, 98,000, case number 2, 18 lakhs, case number 3, 40 lakhs. For this purpose, you are required to calculate the total amount of fees for all the 3 applications to be paid along with application under CGST Act 2017. CGST Act 2017. Sir, the first question is like, sir, here there are like 3 cases, now does all the 3 can be all the three can be clubbed. No, we can't club all the three. So here for 42 lakhs, what is the fees to be paid, sir? 42 now 42 lakhs, but we should pay how much? Maximum 25,000 only. So here it is like 25,000. Then 18 lakhs. 18 lakhs. Okay, for 18 lakhs, how much they need to be paid, sir? 18,000. Then the next third one, sir, how much? 1,000 for every 1 lakh. Maximum 25,000, minimum 5,000. Sir, actually, after this MCQ, there is a change about minimum limit, sir. That's why previously there is no such minimum limit of 5,000. That's why the answer has been taken as 44 that time. But then now if it is 98,000 also, minimum of how much is applicable, sir? 5,000. Minimum of 5,000. So how much the total, sir? 48,000 will be the right answer. It's not 44,000. Okay, it would be now how much? 48,000, because for this minimum 5,000 has to be paid. Minimum, that is like you can't pay 1,000, minimum 5,000. Maximum here is like 25,000, here 18,000. Okay, so this is what. If appeal does not involve any tax, interest, penalty also, still how much? 5,000 has to be paid. Rectification of error alone, no fees. This is for what? Fee for appeal to tribunal. Fee for appeal to appellate authority, no fees at all. Okay, an appeal will be considered as filed only when final acknowledgement is issued. Only when final acknowledgement is issued. Then appellant may withdraw an appeal before the tribunal passes the order. AP05, APL07W. Okay, then anytime, sir, you may file an appeal and such appeal can be withdrawn anytime before the tribunal passes the order. Then single member bench. Sir, the case can be heard by a single member bench tribunal when the following conditions are satisfied. What are those? When the amount of tax or ITC involved or fine, fee, penalty involved is less than 50 lakhs. When the amount of tax, ITC involved, fine, fee, penalty involved is less than 50 lakhs. And it does not have any question of law. Sir, what is called question of law? Sir, there are two things, sir. One is question of fact, next one is question of law. Question of fact. Let's say, sir, you have claimed ITC of 5 lakhs, sir, on an invoice. Department is saying like, the GST officer is saying like, that's a fake invoice. So now the question is about whether it is a fake invoice or genuine invoice. Here there is no question of law, it's only question of fact. To find out whether it is a fake invoice or genuine invoice, it's only question of fact. So fact related. What is question of law? Sir, you claimed ITC using a invoice. And you says like, it is as per 16 subsection 2, you can avail ITC. Okay, or 16 conditions satisfied. But the department is saying like, no, you can't avail ITC, it's a blocked credit. Okay, like that, there is a interpretation issue. Question of law. Then in such case, okay, it does not involve any question of law, then single member bench can hear. If it involves question of law, then single member bench cannot hear. Then prior approval of president. President na, not president, sir, like in president na, not president of India. In national bench, there is a president, right? His approval is needed and other conditions are satisfied. So the amount of tax, interest, penalty, fee involved is less than 50 lakhs. There is no question of law. Okay, president approved, then it could be listened by a single member bench. Then pre-deposit. Here also pre-deposits are very important. Full amount of tax, interest, fine, fee, penalty admitted. Okay, whatever it is admitted, that has to be paid. Sir, already paid at the time of appellate authority only, sir. No new admitted. Sir, understand my point? First, adjudicating authority passed order stating like tax, interest, penalty. Tax 5 lakhs, interest 50,000. Penalty 20,000. Okay, at the time of going to appellate authority, accepted 3 lakhs, 30,000. What is the disputed at the time of appellate authority? 2 lakhs, here 20,000. Here 20,000. So what is the pre-deposit at the time of appellate authority? How much? Accepted. Accepted is how much? Accepted is like 3,30,000. Sorry, this interest and tax both accepted na. So that together how much? 3,30,000. Pre-deposit to appellate authority is like 3,30,000 plus disputed into 10%. 2 lakhs. So total 3,50,000. Now appellate authority confirmed adjudicating authority order. Appellate authority confirmed adjudicating authority order. So nothing, no change. So there is no difference also. Now you wanted to go from appellate authority to tribunal. How much you need to pay? Sir, accepted. Already you paid na 3 lakh and 3,30,000, so there is nothing to pay. But disputed is there. How much is the disputed? 2 lakhs. Again the disputed 2 lakhs into 10%. Sir, already I paid at the time of appellate authority na, disputed into 10%. That is already paid. Extra, another disputed into 10%. So another 20,000 you pay. So already paid 3,50,000, now another 20,000 you pay if you want to take it to the appellate authority. In addition to the tax which you paid already at the time of appellate authority, additionally you should deposit, pre-deposit at the time of tribunal. Okay, 10% of the disputed tax amount. The maximum is like 20 crores CGST, 20 crores SGST, CGST. Okay, previously it used to be 20%, sir, but now it is like how much? 10% only. 10% of disputed tax amount. Okay, it is in addition to the paid at the time of appeal to appellate authority. Then refund of pre-deposit, sir. Okay, I will discuss this one, sir. Refund of pre-deposit. What? Either here at the time tribunal level or appellate authority level, the decision came in favor of the taxpayer. So he need not to pay any tax over the disputed amount. He paid disputed into 10%, na, that he need not to pay, because whatever is contention, that is accepted by the appellate authority or tribunal. Then the pre-deposit he made, right, with respect to disputed amount, that has to be refunded. At what rate? Interest at 6% per annum. Sir, but everybody, sir, note it. Sir, in June 2025 suggested answer, sorry, not June 2025, sir. In December 2024 suggested answer, it was taken as 9%. But in our institute study material, it was given as 6% only. So there is a debate here whether to be taken as 6% or 9%. But obviously, sir, if suggested answer given 9%, and even in some CA final books, it is given as 9% only. So we also follow which percentage, sir? 9%, because study made it, not study material, suggested answer given 9%. Na? So we will also follow how much? 9% interest rate. If the pre-deposit is being refunded to the taxpayer, from when? From the date of pre-deposit to date of refund. This 9% is from when? From date of pre-deposit to date of refund, interest has to be paid at a rate of 9%. Interest has to be paid at a rate of 9%. Then, sir, when the matter went to tribunal, sir, there is no one common opinion among all the members in the bench. Then, majority rule in case of difference of opinion. Sir, originally heard by state bench. Then what they will do? They will refer to member of another state bench, same state, if not different states. Okay, if there is another state bench, they will refer it to another member of state bench. Otherwise, they will even different state also. Originally heard by principal bench, they will refer to member of another principal bench. If not, then refer to member of state bench. Now, originally heard by some people, and then after referral, few other people joined. So now all together, sir, originally heard by 4 people, sir. They have difference of opinion. Now additional 1 people. Now 5. So majority decided by majority, including the members heard initially. So whatever the majority felt, based on that, the decision has to be taken. Okay. Order of tribunal. Usually the tribunal has to pass an order within 1 year, sir. However, tribunal can confirm an order, modify an order, annul the order, or can refer back the case to appellate authority or even to revisional authority. But if you look at appellate authority or revisional authority, sir, they can only confirm, modify or nullify the orders. They cannot refer back the case. But tribunal can refer back the case to appellate authority or revisional authority. Okay. Then tribunal can correct its own order. Revision, sir, whether is brought to the notice by commissioner within a period of 3 months or summarily. Okay, if tribunal came to know that there is any mistake, error, omission in its order, that can be rectified. Okay, can review its own order. However, if liability is gonna increase or IDC is gonna decrease, then an opportunity of being heard has to be given to the taxpayer. An opportunity of being heard has to be given to the taxpayer. So then, sir, during the original adjudication order process, sir, if you see in movies and all, evidence usually has to be provided during the normal process, right? But first half, many court movies we have seen, right? Court drama movies. During the whole first half, the hero, okay, the protagonist related lawyer, he'll be like, he'll get humiliation, he'll not have points and all. But pre-climax to climax time, this is lawyer will have extraordinary points. The whole movie will get twists and all. They can bring those points in the beginning itself, then the argument would be much better, much stronger, right? The same way, adjudicating authority passed order. That time you didn't provide an evidence, but now before tribunal or appellate authority you are providing an evidence. Why? If at all before itself you have provided an evidence, the matter didn't came till now. It was solved at the time of adjudicating authority only, but then you didn't provide evidence. Now you are providing evidence. So whether such evidence can be accepted, additional evidence can be accepted or not. Usually they will not accept additional evidence, either by the appellate authority or by the tribunal, which is not provided before the adjudication authority. But when they can accept, the production of additional evidence before appellate authority or tribunal is not allowed, except originally also you tried to admit such evidence, but then they rejected. Then that time there is a sufficient cause, sir. Everybody use this point only, sir. If they come up with an additional evidence, that time, okay, that time, see in movies and all we see na, that time what happens to the people? So you wanted to bring a person who wants as a witness, but that time you cannot bring him. Only in pre-climax time you can bring that witness. Why? That time you have been prevented from a sufficient cause. That witness was under a threatening situation. Okay, witness has been already warned, like if you say anything, your father will kill your family. Okay, like that, or they kidnap such witness and all. So that's why witness has been prevented by a sufficient cause. So that's why we can't provide in the first case, but now you can provide. So okay, that's fine. Then passed the order that time without giving sufficient opportunity. That time also taxpayer said like, sir, give me some time, I will provide evidence. But then such time is not given. So that's why he can't provide. But now he is gonna provide. So authority refused to admit evidence. Appellant prevented by sufficient evidence. Passed order without giving sufficient opportunity to appellant to provide evidence. Okay. Then authorized representative. So what is authorized representative? Authorized representative, he is an employee of the taxpayer, registered person, relative, advocate, his CA, CMA, CS, GST practitioner, or even a retired tax gazetted officer who has been in experience in that role for more than 1 year. So these people can act as an authorized representative, because to appear in front of GST authorities you don't know what to talk, you know how to do business. That's why you want to send someone who can talk decently, nicely. So who can be employee, your employee, relative, advocate, CA, CMA, CS, GST practitioner, or a retired tax gazette officer who has been under that role for more than 1 year. Okay. However, they are disqualified to act as authorized representatives when they are dismissed from a government service. That fellow has taken some bribe or something he did, has been dismissed from government service, then he can't act as an authorized representative. Then he is convicted in offense. Okay, he is already did some kind of offense and he is convicted, proved that he has been guilty for such offense, then he can't act as an authorized representative. He has been fraud or guilty of misconduct, he has a guilty of misconduct or fraud, then he can't, or he is an insolvent, so then they can't act as an authorized representative. Then appeals to High Court. Sir, when can I go to High Court, sir? Sir, when can you make an appeal with the High Court? First understand, where it is a order passed by state bench and national bench, state bench tribunal, then such matters you can appeal before High Court. And then it should involve substantial question of law. It should involve what? Substantial question of law. Question of law, question of fact, I said already. Okay, if it is a question of fact, you can't take it to the High Court. However, there is some alternate remedies, sir. There is special leave petition and all that you could file. But usually, if it is a question of fact, tribunal is the highest fact finding authority. Tribunal is the highest fact finding authority. If it is a matter related to fact, you can only take it up to tribunal. On paper, whatever academic purpose, we'll study that only, sir. But practically, there is something called special leave petition which could be filed with High Court. Even if it is a question of fact also, you can appeal with High Court. That's an exceptional case. But usually, tribunal is the highest fact finding authority, academic purpose. Okay, with respect to fact finding, you can't go to High Court. Only if it is a question of law, you can take it to High Court. And the appeal has to be made before High Court within 180 days from date of order. And it shall be heard by a bench not less than 2. Okay, 2 High Court judges has to listen to the issue. Pre-deposit, sir, 100% of tax interest penalty. However, High Court can stay that pre-deposit. Then appeal to Supreme Court. Sir, when can appeal with Supreme Court? Either if it is an order passed by High Court or if it is an order passed by national bench, place of supply issue, national bench, and it involves question of law. Appeal an order of High Court which High Court certified it like it's a fit one to go for Supreme Court, or order passed by principal bench. Okay, pre-deposit required, however, it can be stayed. Okay, then section 120, sir. Sir, section 120, it's about, sir, if you look at the whole chapter, sir, with applied authority, taxpayer can make an appeal, department people also can make an appeal. With the tribunal also, taxpayer can make an appeal, department can make an appeal. With High Court also, taxpayer can make an appeal, department can make an appeal. Supreme Court also, both can make an appeal, right? So now, let's say department had some dispute. Okay, there is some dispute between a particular taxpayer and the department officer. The matter of dispute is 5,000 only. The matter of dispute is only 5,000 only. For 5,000, they are wanted to go to the tribunal, High Court, Supreme Court. Why that much waste of time? But taxpayer, if he is going, he doesn't have any work. If he wants to go, let him go. But department people, they are telling to their staff, saying like, for 5,000, 10,000 issues and all, you don't make them big. Okay, if you could solve at appellate authority level, fine. Don't take all these kind of petty issues to the tribunal, High Court and Supreme Court. That's why they kept a monetary limit. If at all the tax, interest, penalty amount involved is more than these limits, then only the case can be taken up to the appeals. See, that is mentioned where section 120. Board may fix limit for filing appeal, okay, for not filing an appeal. So what is the limit, sir? For GST appellate tribunal, 20 lakhs. For High Court, 1 crore. For Supreme Court, 2 crores. Okay, this is the aggregate of taxes in dispute, sir. CGST, IGST plus cess. CGST, IGST plus cess. One second, sir. I'll write it clearly here. Or how this scam, it has to be revised now. See, first, when you are going to tribunal, when the disputed amount is more than 20 lakhs, then only go to tribunal. When you wanted to make an appeal with High Court, you should make an appeal only when the disputed amount is more than 1 crore. When you want to make an appeal with Supreme Court, only when the amount is more than 2 crores. Okay, otherwise, sir, it's not to taxpayer, it's to the department to make an appeal. Taxpayer can make an appeal irrespective of these limits. Understand, sir? So, aggregate of tax in dispute. So, sir, what is included in this 20 lakhs? This includes CGST, SGST, IGST, all the liabilities. But, sir, if dispute pertains to the demand consists of tax with or without with or without interest penalty. with or without interest penalty. There might be penalty or without penalty. You should take what? Only the aggregate of tax amount you should check. Whether it is more than aggregate amount of tax you should check. Whether it is more than 20 lakhs, more than 1 crore or 2 crores. Interest penalty don't include. Aggregate of tax only. Interest or penalty don't include. Sir, the dispute is only with respect to interest, sir. Then you should check aggregate of interest under both CGST plus SGST plus IGST plus cess all together acts. Sir, if the dispute involves only penalty, sir, then take aggregate of penalty. Sir, the issue involves only late fee, sir, then take aggregate of late fee. Sir, issue involves interest, penalty, late fee without tax, no tax involved. Without tax, then take what? Aggregate of interest plus penalty plus refund, sorry, plus late fee. Then, sir, if the matter is related to erroneous refund, sir, some refund is made to you which the department feels like erroneous, I mean not to be made, then the amount of aggregate amount of refund, aggregate of refund, this you need to check whether these total within 20 lakhs, then you can't make an appeal with tribunal. Within 1 crore, then you can't make an appeal with High Court. Within 2 crores, then you can't make an appeal with Supreme Court. Okay. But however, the following limits are not applicable in certain cases. When the provision of GST ultravies Constitution of India. Okay. So there is some provision which ultravies Constitution of India. In such case, don't forget about these limits. You can make an appeal. Okay. That provision is contradicting with Constitution of India. So ultravies na, it's against to the spirit of Constitution of India. There are certain rules which were ultra-varying the Parent Act. CGST rule cannot override CGST Act, but these rules are overriding the Act, then can be taken with respect of these limits. There is an order notification circular which is again ultra-varying the Act. I mean, actually this should be within the purview of Act, but these are like against or contrary to that. Then also it can be taken. Monetary limit need not to be checked. And then the matter is related to valuation of goods and services, classification, place of supply, refunds. The matter is related to valuation of goods and services, classification of goods and services, place of supply, refunds, valuation of goods and services, classification, place of supply, refunds. Then also matter cannot be taken, matter can be taken for appeal irrespective of the limits. Any other issue which is recurring in nature and involves interpretation. Any other issue recurring in nature involves interpretation. Then also what? The matter can be taken up for appeal irrespective of the limits. Okay. So this is appeals chapter, sir. We'll solve 2 questions, sir. December 24 exam question and June 24 also. I hope I already opened up those papers. Sorry, this is not required. December 23, there is no question from there. So, June 25, sir. First, we'll read the question, sir, then we'll go. In an appeal filed with See, in an appeal filed with the High Court of Madras by VVS Chakra Limited on the question whether activity undertaken by VVS Chakra amounts to supply or not. So, the issue is related to what? Amounts to supply. The appeal was decided in favor of VVS Chakra, where appeal filed with the High Court of Madras on the question whether activity undertakes amounts to supply or not, decided in favor of VVS Chakra. The amount of tax, interest, penalty involved is what? Total 2.3 crores. Okay. Only tax 1.2 crores. Okay. However, this department does not agree with the order passed by High Court and contends that the said activity amounts to supply under GST. The department wants to file an appeal before Supreme Court relating to the dispute pertaining to the demand of tax, interest and penalty. You are required to examine whether an appeal can be filed by department in the given case. Will your answer change? Okay, first, will an appeal can be filed by the department in the given case? First, sir, look at the monetary limits. For Supreme Court, sir, first we should write all these theories, sir. Then, what is the limit for Supreme Court, sir? 2 crores. Sir, if it involves tax along with interest and penalty also, we should check only what? Aggregate of tax. We should not total the interest and penalty. So, we should check only how much? To 1.2 crores. So, within 2 crores. So, actually no. But the question is about what, sir? Whether the activity undertaken amounts to supply or not. Sir, amounts to supply or not is an interpretation issue. If you look at here, exceptions, if there involves any other issue which is recurring in nature, so supply, it happens every day, okay, such kind of transaction, and it involves interpretation, okay, supply or not is an interpretation point only, then there is an exception. So, irrespective of the limit also they can go, okay, by using this point they can make a appeal. That's what given in the suggested answer also. Okay, then you are required to examine whether an appeal, yes, appeal can be filed. Monetary limit is within that, but in exceptions there is that. Will your answer change in case matter is related to valuation of service instead of determining whether the said activity amounts to supply? Sir, even in second option also, monetary wise they can't make an appeal. But if you look at here, sir, okay, it is a matter related to valuation of goods and services, straight away given in exceptions. Okay, you need not to trigger the last exceptional point also. Straight away they said like what? If it is related to valuation of goods and services, you need not to follow the monetary limit. The appeal can be made by the department. Appeal can be made by the department. Okay, so this question done. Sir, if you want to look at the answer, sir, just download the June 2025 suggested answer, sir. You can look at the answer, but the question concept remains same. Let me take December 24 question also. So look at this question. A final order has been passed by the Commissioner of Central Tax having revisional authority in respect of, okay, revisional authority passed order, sir, in respect of Kailash Traders, a registered supplier in the state of Tamil Nadu. The amount of IGST penalty and interest confirmed by the Commissioner and accepted by the SSC are as under. Order passed is like 600, accepted 400, penalty 300, accepted 150, interest 30, accepted 50. The required amount of pre-deposit was made by Kailash Traders on 5th November. A valid appeal was filed before GST. Okay. Tribunal passed an order fully in favor of Kailash. Kailash Traders submitted an application for refund of pre-deposit along with interest. So that a said application was acknowledged by department. Based on the aforesaid, compute the amount of pre-deposit that should have been made initially and the interest that have been granted by the department. Interest that have been granted by the department. First, sir. What is the pre-deposit, sir, with the tribunal? Okay, they are not asking fees, sir. Pre-deposit. First, amount accepted. How much is the amount accepted, sir? 400, 150, 15. So this they need to pay anyhow. 550, 565. 565 crores. Plus amount of dispute. How much is the dispute, sir? 400. How much is the dispute? 200 crores. Interest penalty not required. So 200 crores into 10 percentage. So how much? 20 crores they need to pay. 20 crores they need to pay. Okay. What is the maximum limit for IGST, sir? Maximum it is like 40 crores pre-deposit. Okay. So now look at here, sir. Computation of pre-deposit amount and interest on refund amounts to tax and 20%. Sir, 20%, sir, if you look at our notes, I have clearly said like there is an amendment here. Before 1st November, it's 20% only, but post amendment, it's only 10%. So, answer also I am changing. That's why I brought the screenshot also. Okay, here it's like only 10%. So, it's not like 40, it would be only 20. So, it's not 605 crores, it's only 580 crores. If the pre-deposit made by the appellant before the tribunal is required to be refunded consequent to an order, then tribunal interest has to pay at what? 9%. But in study material it's given as 6%, sir. I already said in an suggested answer they given 9%. So, we will consider only 9%. The same shall be paid from the date of payment of the amount till the date of refund. When they paid, sir, this amount? 5th November 23. And when it was refunded? 14th May. So, from 5th November 23, 6th November 23 to 14th May, they will get interest, including 5th. The same shall be payable from date of payment. The number of from the date of pre-deposit to the actual date of refund is like, in November, sir, including 5th, 26 days. Okay, December 31, January 31, again February 29, because 2024 leap year, sir. 31 May, 30 June, okay, and then, sorry, January 31, February 29, March 31, April 30 and May 30 days. So, total 191 days. So, interest at a rate of 9%. Sir, actually what happened here? Tribunal passed fully in favor of submit an application for refund pre-deposit along with the said application was acknowledged and pre-deposit was refunded. Sir, on what this interest will come, sir? 1,88,000, 38,000. Sir, it will not come on this 565 crores because you already accepted this. Even in favor, the interest is only with respect to the disputed. With respect to disputed, how much you paid? 20 crores, na? So, you should calculate interest here for what? Disputed amount. So, 20 crores into 9% into, okay, 191 by 365 you should do. Okay, you should do what? 20 crores into 19% into it is how much, sir? 94 lakh 19,000 94,91,178. This is the interest. Okay, if considered leap year na, then 366. So this is the interest to be paid, sir. Understand? So this, if you follow blindly December 2024 answer, sir, you will have again extra set of doubts. That's why I have corrected it, because there is an amendment there. It's only 10% of disputed tax amounts. So take only 20 crores here, 55. If you calculate this, then you will get the answer. Okay, I hope I have provided everything you needed from assessment chapter and appeals chapter. I wish you all the best for your exams. The bullet series of IDT MCQs will be uploaded by December 5th max. By December 5th you will get the IDT MCQs part also, bullet MCQs part. You can watch it for sure. Okay, thank you all. Be confident. I'm gonna tell you everyone, if you leave any topic, no problem. The topics you have taken, prepare properly. Okay, never worry about the topics you left, and don't feel like maybe the question come from the chapters which I have left only, maybe I'll not remember those concepts. Leave all those things. Be confident. Okay, the nature, the environment, I mean the whole nature is there with you. It's gonna happen in your positive way only. Have faith, trust yourself, trust the process you are into. Okay, never ever lose the confidence. I can sure shortly says like the superthon and this revision series is definitely gonna help you. Trust me, along with the MCQ session. I believe if you do those things properly, you minimum get 50 plus. There are high chances of even getting exemptions also. Okay, so all the best. Clear your exams. Once you clear, don't forget, we gonna meet us in our BCCA for the felicitation program. Wherever you are, whether you are in Andhra, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, wherever you are, North India, like Punjab, Gujarat, Assam, from wherever you are watching this video, if you cleared exam, one thing you can do to me or do to the BCCA for providing this kind of support is like, come here. When you are taking that medal, like you have been qualified, here there will be 400-500 students. Tell them one or two words like which motivated you, what supported you. Okay, then definitely they will also gonna inspire from you and they will clear. Okay, if you come all the way from somewhere like Delhi or Punjab, and then here if you tell few words to the students now, they'll feel so much inspired. Okay, they'll also have the zeal to clear their exams also. Okay, for that reason only we're asking you to come. Okay, and obviously we'll also have one kind of satisfaction once we see you, because these days like this virtual connection only we are having. Once we have that face-to-face connection, we'll also feel happy. Okay, so we are asking you only after clearing the exams, right? You're gonna clear, after clear, in that happy moment only. Okay, some 1,000, 2,000 or maybe 3,000-4,000 if you spent also, it's not a big thing that time. Now it's a big thing only, but afterwards, after you're clearing, in that joyful moment, that's not a big thing for you. So come participate in those things. Thank you all. Thank you. Yes, DT revision will be there. Okay, I'll be uploading the recorded sessions from Monday morning. DT revision series, whatever is there pending. Thank you all.